Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our EAFC 24 Summer Career Mode. We return today with our Crystal Palace side where we will close out the summer transfer window where we've got around 2 weeks remaining, and still we've managed to keep the main core of our squad together. Yes, we lost Michael Olise to Manchester City, but I was expecting more big bids for our key players after qualifying for Europe last season. But before we head into our first game of today's episode away at Goodison Park, we see that our young striker Adam Mola has gone out to Sheffield United on loan. He will join up with Samuel Orozco, who's also there on a 2-year deal. We've also promoted 3 of our youngsters, 2 attacking midfielders and a goalkeeper. And the 2 attacking midfielders, Holden and Fry, both with the potential to be special, along with Zach, who we promoted last year, also with potential to be special. We are stacked in that area of the pitch. But jumping into our first game of today's episode, it is Everton away at Goodison Park. They also got off to a winning start in match day 1, so both teams looking to continue a promising start to the season. Come on, you Eagles. Well, underway here at Goodison Park, and it's Thijs de Linger who kicks things off for Everton. Now, he was my main transfer target if Jean-Philippe Mateta was to depart in the summer, but we've not really had any big bids. There was one from FSV Mainz, but I don't really think he'd depart for Mainz. So Mateta stays here. De Linger's moved on to Everton from Toulouse, so we wouldn't have been able to get him now anyway. But we'll see who gets who comes out on top today between Mateta and De Linger. Everton beat Spurs on match day 1, so off to a flying start. And speaking of, Czech Doucouré with an absolute cracker on his left foot. Scored 1 goal last year, an absolute belter against Brentford. Also, I think in match day 2 of the season. No, it was match day 3 away at the G-Tech. But away at Goodison here, on the weaker left foot, drills in the opening goal. Our ball through, Kadioglu. Lovely build-up. Dinked into Mateta in the middle, and again, Johan Musso is equal to it. Sule to swing the corner in, looking for Mateta, and this time it is 2. Our pressure finally pays off. Mateta gets his 2nd of the season, and Matthias Sule with another assist, picking up where Michael Olise left off last year as our top creator. Well, there is the whistle, and it's pretty comfortable in the end for Palace. Back-to-back victories and back-to-back clean sheets. As still no bids for Dean Henderson, Golden Glove winner last year, 2 clean sheets to kick off the campaign. No bids for him at all in this summer transfer window. But my main concern is the injury to Kadioglu. Went down with around 15 minutes to play, and I have a feeling it could be another broken toe. I'm hoping for just a 5-day bruise for our new signing down that right-hand side. Well, as we get back to the menus here, thankfully just a 5-day bruise for Kadioglu, but big news here as AS Monaco, remember Ligue 1 champions last year, have put in a huge bid for Czech Doucouré. Now, I'm really not sure on this one because I wouldn't necessarily say that Monaco are one of Europe's elite, but they are a big club in Europe. And of course, they won the Ligue 1 title last year. They're going to be playing Champions League football. I love Czech Doucouré, but I did say I would not stand in players' ways if we got big bids in this summer window. So I think I'm going to negotiate with Monaco. Yeah, we saw a big bid for Wharton in the previous episode, and I wouldn't say we prized Dortmund out of a deal, but we certainly wouldn't accept a low ball offer, and it's a pretty similar situation here. But again, Monaco not willing to go above 36.6. I'll remove the sell-on clause and say if you want him, you're going to have to pay 40 million. It's the same price tag that we put on Adam Wharton, and Monaco have said no. So again, I don't feel I've priced him out of a move there. 40 million for Doucouré in today's market is more than reasonable. Well, we've got just under a week left in the transfer window. We've still got 79 million left in the budget. I am pretty happy with how the squad looks. maybe a few more squad players. I'd like to get these 3 loaned out, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Maybe another backup striker, a 3rd choice striker. And other than that, I'm not really too sure where else we need to improve on. I'm just looking at my shortlist here and the strikers that I've got. A lot of these were options that I was looking to bring in if one of Edouard or Mateta departed. Quite a few of them have moved clubs as well. Delinga, Embolo, Awonyi. Now that it looks as if Mateta and Edouard are staying, I would like to bring in a 3rd choice. And we've already got Chris Richards as an American here. And as a 3rd choice option, I think Haji Wright from Coventry City, still in the Championship, would be a really good pickup. Let's see how much he's going to cost us to bring him to Selhurst. Going to go in with an offer of 6 million here, and they want 6 mil plus a 10% sell-on clause. That's absolutely fine with me. And Haji Wright, a player that I'm quite a big fan of from what I've seen of him at Coventry, looks as if he's heading to the Premier League. So Haji Wright is in. I think this is a really, really good bit of business. He's a quick, strong, physical player, similarly to Edouard and Mateta. But he knows his role as well. Signs a rotation squad status, 30 grand a week, 3-year deal. And I think as a 3rd choice, he's definitely good enough to step in when needed and to fill in when Mateta and Edouard need a rest. I'm really happy with that. I like this one here for our young, potential to be special wonder kid, Nathan Holden. Loan deal from Southampton to go and play down in the Championship. Just 16 years of age. And I think that'd be a really good loan to develop under Russell Martin. Also had a loan bid for our young goalkeeper, Elliot Pratt. So hopefully we'll get him out to Grenoble Foot. Interesting team that want to take him on loan there. And finally, a 3rd loan bid for the other attacking midfielder we promoted from the Youth Academy, Morgan Fry. So we'll try and get all 3 of these guys out on 2-year loans to develop. But as we've made it to transfer deadline day, we have got a game before we actually head into deadline day, and we've still got around 70 million left in the budget. But honestly, I don't think there's really too much that we need to do with the squad. Just because we've got the money there doesn't necessarily mean that we need to spend it. And we've managed to keep most of our key pieces together. Jumping into our next game, been a really tough start to the season with the fixtures, continuing here with Chelsea visiting us at Selhurst Park. But we're 2 wins from 2 to kick off the campaign, looking to make it 3 from 3 here and still yet to concede a goal. Come on, you Eagles. So we've actually got a really good record against Chelsea in the save. Played 2 and won 2. Beat them at Stamford Bridge and then back here at Selhurst Park as well. So hoping to keep our 100% record against them going here. Got Armando Broja starting up front, which is a bit of an interesting one. But yeah, feeling pretty confident actually heading into this one. Chelsea are one of those teams in career mode that even though in real life they spend all this money and they've signed all these good young talents, they always seem to fall away after a season or 2. So yeah, I'm actually expecting us to continue our good record against Chelsea here with another victory. Early corner for the Eagles. Matthias Sule to take. We've been dangerous from these already this season. And that's the 3rd we've scored. Jean-Philippe Mateta with another. He scored in all 3 games to kick off the campaign. All 3 have been from corners, assisted by the new man, Matthias Sule. What a start for these 2. Decore nicking the ball back again. He's so important to this team, man, honestly. Wharton in behind for Eze. Brilliant ball. Eze denied by Robert Sanchez. Just tried to open up his body and bend it into that far corner. And Robert Sanchez read it. Matthias will swing the corner in again. And it drops for Kadioglu off the woodwork. Looking for his first goal for the club and so close to finding it there. And Mitchell brings it forward through the gap for Eze. Brilliant pass. Ebereze again tried to just open up his body. I'm not sure what he's been booked for there. Enzo has to get the ball forward. Runs into Lerma and now it's Eze. And that should do it. And Ebereze looking to add a second here. Brilliant dribbling. Eze for 2. Wraps it up with a cherry on top. Ebereeze, who went on a fantastic run at the back end of last season, scored in all of our last 5 and hadn't notched up a goal yet in this season, but now on match day 3 gets his first and bends it in past Robert Sanchez to give us the lead and extend our 100% record against Chelsea. 3 games played against them in this save and 3 victories. And speaking of 3 victories, that's how we've started off this campaign as well. That may well put us top of the Premier League. 3 wins from 3, no goals conceded, and a perfect start from Crystal Palace. Well, into deadline day then, and the only thing I can really think of is getting those 3 young lads out on loan. And I think we've seen 2 of those loan deals going through here. Nathan Holden heading out to Southampton. I like that one on a 2-year loan deal to the Championship. And also Elliot Pratt, the young goalkeeper that we had come through the academy, heading out for 2 years as well. And there goes the final of those 3 youngsters heading out on loan. I'm quite happy to get them out. Hopefully we see some good development on them. Ooh, is there enough time for Liverpool to get this done? We know that the AI take a long time to get moves done on deadline day. I will not stand in his way. They were so close to the title last season. It will be Champions League football. I'm not going to stand in his way. He's 28 years old. He's only got 2 years left on his deal. They don't want to pay more than the 21 million. How about if we meet in the middle at 23.5? Again, they're not budging. Okay, what about 22.5? Again, it's because his contract's up. They don't want to budge. 22.5 million. I really like Joachim Andersen. If Klopp can get the paperwork done on time, then he could be heading to Anfield. We've also had a bid for Rob Holding, and interestingly enough from Fulham. Now I have actually got on my shortlist a Fulham central defender in Calvin Bassey, and with Mark Guehi down injured as well, I think Calvin could be a great option for that left-sided centre-back role whilst Mark Guehi's down, and then can be a great backup when the captain is fit and firing once again. Now they put a bid in for Rob Holding, who I was going to keep as a squad player, but if they want to take 10 million plus Rob Holding, then I'm totally not against that. And well, Marco Silva's just walked out the room. What? 10 million plus Rob Holding and you've walked out of the room? Are you sure? That's ridiculous. Well, now there's a bid from Frankfurt for Rob Holding, and again, one of the players that I've got on my shortlist is a Frankfurt player, someone that I've not used before, but I do think would be very handy on that left-hand side. William Pacho. Now he's actually a few ratings higher than Calvin Bassey. And potentially if Joachim Andersen departs to Liverpool, we could have Pacho on the left side of our defence and move Mark Guehi into the centre. Going to do the same thing, offer Rob Holding plus cash and see if they're happy to do business. I can't believe Marco Silva just walked out of the negotiations. It's like, mate, you wanted to sign Rob Holding from me. What are you on? At least Frankfurt are willing to negotiate. We're going at 23.5 plus Holding. And it does look as if William Pacho could be heading to Selhurst Park on transfer deadline day. And yeah, regardless of whether this deal for Joachim Andersen goes through or not, I am bringing William Pacho in. This is the final advance. And there it is. Joachim Andersen just about gets the paperwork done on time and does depart to Liverpool. Well, that is a big departure. And with Joachim leaving, Mark Guehi down injured. Yes, we've brought in William Pacho, but does that leave us with enough depth at centre-back? I think we will probably be all right. Of course, Jefferson Lerma can drop in there as well. I think just looking at the team here, this is how we'd line up. Pacho on the left, Ballard in the middle, and Richards on the right. We've got Mengi who can fill in. Obviously, Guehi can do a job there. Klein can fill in at right centre-back. Freuler can probably fill in there. We know Jefferson Lerma definitely can. I think Joachim Andersen is going to be a big miss in the back line, but I think we will be alright in terms of numbers without him. We've replaced him with William Pacho, with Rob Holding going the other way. Yeah, I think we'll just about be alright there. Yeah, I won't lie, I was kind of hoping that deal wouldn't go through. I was hoping it was going to fall through. Just looking at the shortlist here, with the money we've got left, there are still Danilo and Dominguez, both at Forest. I'd quite like to bring one of them in, but I think I'll keep them there for now. We've got loads and loads of cover in midfield in those CDM areas. But one man that I am thinking of bringing in the final hours is Daichi Kamada. He's obviously signed for Palace in real life. And as we are trying to do things realistically, that does make sense. 28-year-old Japanese. He can play slightly further forward as one of the front three, or potentially if we're chasing games or if it's a game we're feeling that we should have most of the ball, he can play slightly deeper as well. Very good on the ball. Probably going to cost us around 30 million. But as he signed for Palace in real life, I think I'm going to go after him in the final hour of deadline day. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how much Daichi is going to cost, so I'll go in initially with around 32, which is what the chief exec said. And Lazio happy with 32 million. Okay, maybe a little bit of an overspend, but Daichi Kamada, 2 years left on his deal, signed by Palace in real life. Let's bring him in the save too. And so Daichi Kamada is in on transfer deadline day. It's a 4-year, 45 grand a week contract. And as he signed in real life, we're looking to keep things realistic. He looks pretty solid across the board. Okay, he's not the best defensively, he's not the strongest, but high stamina, pretty quick as well. Great passing, great dribbling. And he's a very good signing for 32 million from Lazio. So this is how the squad will look heading into the first half of the season. Of course, we have got European football, so I'm happy that we've sort of bolstered the squad a little bit. Maybe a little bit shorter centre-back, but I do think we'll be alright once Mark Gurhey comes back, and we've got players that can fill in there as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with how the squad is looking heading into Season 2. And that is going to do it for transfer deadline day through to the 1st of September. And I think what I'm actually going to do is resend my youth staff out for another 9-month mission. Had a lot of luck in England, so I'm going to keep Harvey Preston once again in his home nation. He did a really good job picking up some talents last year. We scouted Scotland last year as well, and I think I would like to keep one more scout in the British Isles. We had quite a lot of Welsh players in the Sheffield United save, of course Harry Matthews the main one. So maybe we go to Ireland. We have got Dan Ballard, who's from Northern Ireland. So yeah, I think I'm going to send Johansson to Northern Ireland for 9 months. And then as for our Turk Asker, what I'm thinking is with Chris Richards and now Haji Wright joining him from the United States, maybe we go to the USA looking for some young American talent. Simming through here, I think it's on this Friday. There we've got the match rescheduled emails. So we should see, once it stops simming, we should see the draw for the Europa League. There it is. Who are we going to face in our first year in Europe? Crystal Palace drawn against, there we are, Group A, Trabzonspor, Midtjylland and Rapid Vienna. Okay, that's decent. We've missed most of the big boys there. And yeah, we should be able to top that group pretty easily. So there is a look at our Europa League group. Pretty comfortable for us to progress. I want to see who would we have had in the Conference League if we were in Chelsea spot. Okay, would have been our group there, Group D. It's so annoying, man. I never get to play in the Conference League because it's so buggy, and I should have been there last season, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter. Moving into our next game, it's first versus second. Crystal Palace currently top of the tree without conceding a goal in the first 3 games. And as for Bournemouth, right at the other end of the table, no wins in their opening 3 and no points on the board. Great chance for us to make it 4 from 4 here. Come on, you Eagles. Yeah, sorry guys, I actually said in the little intro there, first versus second. What I meant is first versus bottom. Bournemouth yet to pick up a point so far this season in their first 3 games. Currently sat rock bottom and looking to pick up their first point here at home on the south coast. We've of course got no Mark Gurhey and Joachim Andersen sold, so Ballard and Pacho make up the back 3 alongside Chris Richards. And Tyrick Mitchell takes the armband today in the absence of Gurhey as Edouard. Oh, what a fantastic goal. Given the nod today. And I've said that I trust this man when he has to, when he steps in for Mateta. And he's just scored a wonderful goal to give us the lead. Look how high Edouard gets on this on the replay. It looks like Cristiano Ronaldo's bicycle kick all those years ago. Gets so high in the air, a couple of touches to set himself up. And then on the weak foot, the overhead kick takes it past the Brazilian Neto. What a fantastic goal to give us the lead on the south coast. Wharton into Decore, our 2 midfield men that we managed to keep hold of this summer, despite interest and big bids, both staying at the club. And now Kamada, one of the new signings, releasing Mitchell, wearing the armband today. It's loose and Kadioglu can't turn it in. Edouard won't get there. And Bournemouth will survive. Looking for that second goal just to give us a cushion. The longer it stays at 1-0, the longer Bournemouth will feel that they've got a chance in this. Need that second to give us the cushion. Well, into the second half here. Still, we've not been able to find that second. As Kadioglu comes forward, that's nicely worked. Decore through the gap. Matthias Sule in, surely for 2, and he's buried it. Our replacement for Michael Elise. He's taken his number 7, and he's performing as well as Elise did last year. Said I wanted that second goal. It's taken us an hour to find it, but that now should be enough to see us away from the vitality with all 3 points and maintaining our 100% start to the campaign. And it's all over here on the south coast. Pretty comfortable win for Palace after we got that second goal. It was a little bit nervy. I always say it in my commentaries whenever we're leading by just 1. Always feeling a bit nervous because the AI on Ultimate only takes 1 chance and they're back in the game. But Matthias Sule's second does seal the points for Palace and maintains our 100% start to the season. Right, then we'll play a few more to close out the episode as I want to squeeze in our first Europa League group stage game. Before we get there though, Tottenham at home at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace currently top of the tree, 4 wins from 4 and yet to concede a goal, even with our captain and Mark Gurhey going down injured. Big game here against Postecoglou's men. Come on, you Eagles. Well, really interesting team that Spurs are sort of building here. They've had a pretty decent start to the season, but the likes of Estupinian, the Brighton fullback, really like Estupinian. I think when he's fit and firing, he's one of the best fullbacks in the league. He has been hit with some injury troubles over the last few years. They've got Callum Wilson up top, which is an interesting one. Also, another Englishman, Jack Grealish, signed from Manchester City, making the switch to London. So yeah, interesting team. They've got sort of more fringe players. Ollie Skip, who's just joined Leicester in real life, and also Joe Rodon, who I don't think has much of a career left at Tottenham. They're both starting. So it's a bit of a weird team that Spurs have got. But looking to continue our winning start. That was a good chance for Mateta, and his effort well blocked, and Spurs clear for now. Richards comes away with the ball and finds Kadioglu. Now down the line to Kamada, up against Estupinian. Comes inside nicely. Kadioglu finds Mateta. Oh, and that's a worry. Jean-Philippe Mateta hits the deck, stays down. He's gingerly getting back to his feet, but I think that's going to be more than a bruise, and I wouldn't be surprised if, like Mark Gurhey, that is another 3-month broken toe. Free kick for Spurs here. Quite a long way out. Porro is over it for now. Leaves it for James Maddison. Oh, and that wasn't too far away. Dean Henderson was not getting there. If that had nestled under the crossbar, yeah, Dean was not getting there. So close from the Englishman. Well, still deadlocked at 0-0 into the second half. biggest chance of the game came from that free kick as Maddison fired over Dean's goal. And other than that and the injury to Mateta, we haven't seen too much goal-mouth action. Obviously, Palace still yet to concede a goal in the league after, well, over 4.5 games. We know that eventually that's going to falter and we will concede, but I don't want it to come here because I've struggled to create any chances against this Spurs back. Chance on the break here, Doucouré, as we nick the ball back, releases Kamada. I'll be honest, in this lineup we've not really got that raw pace. We've got Eze and Kamada in our front three, with of course Mateta leading the line as Wharton forces Vicario into the save. Maybe lacking a little bit of raw pace up there, with Matthias Soulé not fit enough for the game. There is a corner here for the standing captain Eze to swing in. Headed on and pushed away by Vicario. Relatively comfortable for him, but the Italians still had to make the stop. Couple of chances now starting to fall our way. Are we able to find a winning goal? That's a lovely ball by Wharton. Mitchell's in behind Porro. Dinked into the middle for Mateta and well headed out. Well, I think that's going to do it, unless we can get the ball forward very quickly here. Looks as if it is going to be a 0-0 draw. Still yet to concede in the league, but our winning run does come to an end. 0-0 draw with Tottenham here, and we just couldn't really create much until those final 15 minutes where we had a couple of half chances. Just struggled to create, but we did keep Tottenham quiet, so I guess against another team that's going to be battling for European football this season, it is a decent point. We'll end on the Europa League opener against Trabzonspor, and we'll be looking to kick off our group stage campaign with another 3 points there. And before we head into this game against Trabzonspor, let's see how bad the injury is. Okay, well, it's not a broken toe, but it is a 4-week sprained knee for the Frenchman and our top scorer last year, Jean-Philippe Mateta. That's pretty bad news, although I suppose it could have been worse for the Frenchman. But jumping into our first Europa League game, he would have been on the bench for this one anyway, with Odson Edouard called into the starting lineup. I'm giving him my faith in Europe this season. Let's see if he can continue his good goal scoring record as we look to kick off the group stage with 3 points at Selhurst Park. Come on, you Eagles. Yeah, nice way to end today's episode with our first European game of the save, and it's quite exciting being back in the Europa League. I was trying to think back to the last time I actually managed in this competition. I think it was back in season 4, I think 4, maybe 3, but I think it was season 4 of the Sheffield United save, way back at the start of the game cycle. So yeah, exciting to be back in the Europa League. And I said when the groups were drawn, I'm pretty confident that we'll get through the group pretty easily, and we should be looking to top it. And to be honest, I think we should be aiming to go pretty far in this competition this season. Broiler, one of the experienced players that we brought in the summer. That's why I've brought him to the club, and he's in behind here. Freuler across the box to Zaha. And Wilfried Zaha has his first goal since returning. It comes in Europe. He never got to play in Europe for Palace in his previous stints, but we brought him back to the club in this save, knowing that he'll be playing in Europe this season. And he scores our first goal of the campaign, and it's his first goal since his return. Wilfried Zaha, welcome back to Selhurst Park. Debut assist for Broiler as well, and as I said, we signed him because he's got that European and big game experience, as Jeff Schlupp's in behind and doubles our lead. Zaha with the assist this time, and it's Jeffrey Schlupp still here at Palace. I said he's a decent squad player to keep hold of, and already just 25 minutes in, Palace running riot at Selhurst Park in our opening group game. I do think that we'll top the group relatively comfortably. But saying that, I can't remember the last time I won a European group winning 6 games out of 6. I don't know if we'll do it this time around, but I certainly think it's a possibility. Ozo into Schlupp, and Zaha's the option down the line as we hunt for that third. Zaha does brilliantly to come inside. Great opportunity across the box to Haji Wright. And there's his first goal for the club as well. Signed him as backup for Edouard and Mateta. And I said I really, really like this guy. And I think he is a great third choice striker for us. Coming off the bench late on in games when we're already leading. And he is a real threat. Gets his first goal since joining from the Sky Blues. And Crystal Palace surely now points in the bag on match day 1. Or swung in. No. Oh, that's so annoying. Thought we were going to see the game out with a clean sheet. First goal we've conceded this season comes in the Europa League. And when the game's already done and dusted, to concede so late on is, it's one of my pet peeves. A slight cheer for the travelling Trabzonspor fans, but in the grand scheme of things, it's going to make no difference on the result on match day 1. Alright then guys, that is where we will close out today's episode. We of course closed out the summer transfer window with the signings of Haji Wright, Daichi Kamada and also William Pacho. And still unbeaten in the Premier League. 4 wins from our first 5, no goals conceded, and a win on match day 1 of the Europa League. It's been a very, very solid start to our second season here at Crystal Palace. And we'll be back in the next one as we head into part 1 of Sloggy season, where we're going to crack on with loads more fixtures. I'll catch you for that very soon, guys, as I'm trying to upload a little bit more frequently and get out 4 videos a week rather than our usual 3. I hope you guys are enjoying, and I'll catch you for the next video very soon. Peace.